Today we are going to Japan. Anybody who is willing to go to Japan, who needs to visit Japan, who needs to work to Japan, I have come here to tell you what documents you need to visit or to go to Japan for work. You know, Japan, it is a modernized country. It has a lot of tasks for the modern TVs, modern radios, mechanics, a lot of technologies there in Japan. So people, they are lacking some skills. So whenever who wants to go to Japan, try to listen to this video up to the end. You may end up knowing what they need, which you have been not knowing. Okay, we have three types of visas which are eligible somebody to apply when he's going to Japan. So the first visa, there are three types of visas, only three. Number one, it's the regular Japanese working visa. This is for the professors and artists. Number two, we have Japanese highly skilled profession visa. This one has a lot of advantages when you are applying it. Number three, we have Japanese working holiday visa. This is issued to all citizens of all countries. So if you wish to go to acquire, they have a lot of jobs. I'll be mentioning which jobs are there, but let me proceed. What are the requirements? What are the required documents? What are the required documents to obtain Japanese visa? That is the most important one. Anybody, you have to provide to know these documents. The number one document which is important, it is called the eligibility certificate. The eligibility certificate. How do you going to receive this eligibility certificate? To receive this eligibility certificate, you must send your documents to your employee. The employee is the one who is supposed to apply for the certificate. The certificate through the migration centers or through the migration services. Number two, it is called the application form. The application form. You should complete and sign what they call the application form if you need to go to Japan. You have to sign and complete the application form. Number three, a valid passport. You should have a valid passport. Don't think that you are going to apply when that passport is about to finish, I think like a 2 months, 6 months. Man, you have to be with a valid passport if you want to apply. Number four, you have to present a photo. The photograph should be 3 by 4 centimeters with a gray background. With a gray background. Or with a white background. You should know this before leaving your country if you want to go to Japan. Number five, I said number five, we have what they call details of the job. It means the employer has to send you through the email the details of the job which you are going to do in Japan. My dear friend, what does this mean? It includes the company which you are going to work for. Number 2, the job type. Number 3, the salary which is going to be paid to you, and others. They should be mentioned in that details. Number 6. You have to present your previous academic and experience certificate. Why people, they need experience? Always, everywhere you go, they ask for the experience. How many years have you worked in the restaurant? You will find somebody having a heavy CV. I worked in America in this type of restaurant or the company for 2 years. I went to Thailand. I worked this one. It means you are capable for that work. Why they ask you for the qualification, the certificate? It means that you are eligible. You went to school and studied what you are going to apply. You went to the school, then you have education, what you need. Let me tell you, in Japan, there are a lot of jobs. But before you apply in for those jobs, you should know. This goes to people. Most of people, they are educated, but they do not have jobs. They do not have jobs. Number 1, anybody who is willing to go to Japan, I'm talking about the artist. The doors are open. Artists such as composers, you are needed in Japan. The business managers, you are needed in Japan. People, they have their degrees in managing businesses. The jobs are there. International services specialist. You may find somebody in Uganda, he's an engineer. The doors are open in Japan. Engineers, doctors, nurses, designers. I always tell people to start learning different types of languages. Languages teachers, they are needed in Japan. Languages teachers, they are needed in Japan. Actors, musicians, singers, dancers, the doors are open in Japan. The doors are open. Instructors, they are needed in Japan. Teachers for the primary and secondary and high schools, they are on demand in Japan. Don't salary Joseph didn't tell you. Try any access and apply for these jobs. If you have your papers, if you have qualifications, they will provide you with the jobs and get good salary in Japan. So anybody who is willing, lawyers do not sit. If Uganda, Kenya has hired you to give you a job, try Japan. You look for green pasture for your family. Editors, you are needed in Japan. Public accountants, you are needed in Japan. Those are all types of jobs in Japan. They are there. They are on demand. Try to make research. Don't sit in one corner and say, God, I'm asking for the job. How will the job come without making research, medical services, nurses, eh, they are needed in Japan. So people, whenever you are in Africa, mostly because I'm living in Africa, I'm talking on the behalf of Africans so that you can go to Japan. Let me tell you, these pastors, you can go to Japan. For example, these bishops of different religions, the monks, the doors are open. So anybody who wills to go to Japan, you should know these types of visas they need in Japan. The regular one, which is needed. People who this is a job people they may love. What I mentioned, animal trainers, they are needed in Japan. Technical intelligence, they are needed in Japan. Researchers, they are needed in Japan. But remember this. Please remember this. Remember this, that if you are insured as what category under your job should be applied, the section of the job you need. Avoid confusion and save time. God be with you. I love you. Try. One day you'll be successful. I love you.